Hi there. Welcome back to my channel, True North Vintage Collector. Today we're all getting ready for a massive game. The Jays are playing the Tampa Bay Rays. We're trying to hold off the Yankees for first place so that we can get a bye through the wild card round. And I was reminded of it while I was looking at my cards of some of the collecting lanes or avenues that I've taken since I've come back to collecting. Number one on my list is always Greg Maddux. He was always my guy, and I've collected him since the early 90s. Another one, if you know me, I love horizontal cards. Those are a real niche in my collection. But the third one is trying to figure out those Jays. As you know, there's tons of stuff if you collect any of your home team's cards. And so, yeah, I could go in and I could collect, say, George Bell cards, or I could collect Tony Fernandez, or say, Roberto Alomar or Devon White, or even go to the latest fairly good team, Josh Donaldson and Jose Bautista and Juan Encarnacion. But sometimes what I like to do is I really like to focus in on Jay's nuances, those little blips in history that I've been witness to, where I can tie that into my collection. So, one of the pieces that I've really zeroed in on is Nolan Ryan. Now, some of you might be out there thinking, what does Nolan Ryan have to do with the Toronto Blue Jays? I mean, he never played for them. Well, this is why. So you're probably wondering, what on earth does Nolan Ryan have to do with the Toronto Blue Jays? Well, it actually goes back to May 1st of 1991. I was a teenager back then, and the Jays were just starting to get good. We had traded for Roberto Alomar from the San Diego Padres and traded away the crime dog Fred McGriff. And the Jays were on their way to becoming a really dominant team. 92 and 93, we ended up winning the World Series. Highlights for a lot of us in that age group, with the likes of Paul Molitor and Dave Winfield and Ricky Henderson, true generational players in MLB history. And so on that night of May 1st, 1991, Nolan Ryan was pitching in Arlington for the Texas Rangers, and he was pitching against the Jays. And we pretty much knew from early on that the no-hitter was probably going to happen the 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th inning. I remember it vividly. I mean, it was almost like the Jays weren't even batting. It's just waiting for Nolan to come back out. And sure enough, he ended up finishing the game by striking out Roberto Alomar. And yeah, it was awful to watch the Jays win, but it was really nice to be a part of MLB history, especially that one, since it was a regional game. It wasn't a nationally televised game. So you kind of felt like it was one of those things where we were just really, it was great to watch it happen. So that's how I tie this into my collection. A lot of us here in Canada, what we can do is we can key into, say, the 2016 Jose Bautista issue from Topps Chrome, where he's doing the bat flip. That was a pretty big deal for a lot of us up here too. But with Nolan Ryan, there weren't any cards that I could really think of that really tied into the Jays specifically. The problem with this was I'm not a fan of his 1968 Topps rookie. It's a great card, fantastic card, don't get me wrong. The Kuzman side and the Ryan side is great, but it's not his first real original card. And so I toyed around with the idea of looking at the 1970 Topps issue. I love that one as well. For those of us that are up here, Buck Martinez, our legendary catcher and broadcaster, his rookie card's in that set. And the Nolan Ryan card from 1970 Topps is fantastic. That's one that I'd like to own someday. But my favorite is the 1969 Topps. That easily is my favorite card of his anyways. And so I kind of thought, okay, so if I'm going to get that card, how am I going to pair that with something else? And so for those of you that follow me on IG, and you can find me at True North Vintage Collector, same logo, everything else, I really enjoy picking up the Topps black and white issues. So some of the earlier ones from Topps Heritage and Archives, but mainly the ones where they're producing the main set. So last year, 2024, they came out with Topps black and white, and the main issue base set goes from 1 to 100, but cards 101 to 110 are what they call the vault. What they've done is they went and they gathered some pictures of generational stars, but pictures that are a little bit oddball, pictures that maybe depict them with other teams. And so with Nolan Ryan, what they did was they went back to his Mets playing days when he was super young. So this is card number 108 in the set. You can see it's insanely young Nolan Ryan. The New York Nets logo is just striking at the top. You get that black and white frame around the side. It's just a gorgeous, gorgeous card. And so this is an SP variation, so it's a little tougher to get than the main base cards. And I just thought it was just a crazy good card to pair up with his 1969 tops. So I took this one, and as part of my Now and Then segment, decided to go with this one as well. So this is actually a key card in my collection. In my return to collecting last year, the show where I really started to kind of get my feet into it again. I came across this card at a dealer who had actually had a couple of Nolan Ryan rookie cards, and they were right in my price range. It was all great. But this one here just really jumped off the table. You can certainly see with the centering, it's just unbelievable. The white borders, you get that follow through, the blues of the uniform, and the sort of bluish pinkish circle on the top. And so this card, I had to have it. And so special thanks to JM up here in Toronto. Price was around 1,100 Canadian, and he gave me a coin flip. So 1,000 for me, 1,200 for him. We did the coin flip, and I won. It was just a great day. And so this is a card that I'm always going to have in my collection. And so this card here, yeah, I like to look at it, and as you know from my YouTube videos, I like to do a mesh of vintage and modern that links back to vintage. So here's an idea for you. You can certainly go with the 2024 Topps Black and White, the Vault Edition, card 108, and you can pair it with his 1969 Topps second year card. Anyways, that's all I have for you today. I'm getting ready for the game. It's going to start in a few minutes. Always remember, hobby's fun. It's meant to be. It's something that I'm amazed at how much fun I'm having with it now that I've come back. And that's about it. So anyways, just remember to comment below if you have any questions for me or ideas of how I collect or things like that. Give me a shout. And until then, I'll catch you next time.